Did you know that the Cinderella you often see in movies is not the only one? It's amazing. There are over 700 Cinderella stories. Each story is a little different from the others. The earliest versions were told more than 2,000 years ago. Today, you can find Cinderella stories in books, movies, musicals, and on TV. Each version of the Cinderella story has details that make sense for the time and place that the story was first told. For example, Charles Perrault is the author of the Cinderella story most of us know today. He wrote his Cinderella story to suit the people living in France during the 1600s. It is full of many things that we do not find in our world today. For example, it has coaches pulled by teams of horses, grand balls, princes and princesses. In some modern versions of the story, the sisters might be heading for the prom instead of to the ball. The main character might be a boy who has to mow the lawn instead of a girl who has to sweep out the fireplace. Authors can make all kinds of changes from the traditional story and still share the same themes and ideas. There are versions of the Cinderella story from all over the world. Maybe there are so many because each story held special meaning for the people living in that place. As a result, the differences between the stories show what was important to the tellers and the listeners. Maybe some listeners were worried about getting enough food or money, while others cared more about beauty. Let's compare Charles Perrault's Cinderella to another story, Little One-Eye, Little Two-Eye, Little Three-Eye. In Cinderella, her father remarries an unkind woman with two unkind daughters. They are mean to Cinderella. They give her task after task to do, so her work is never done. Her clothes are worn and they look like rags. In Little One-Eye, a mother has three daughters. The first has one eye, the second has two eyes, and the third has three eyes. Little Two-Eye's sisters are mean to her because she looks like everyone else. Cinderella is not content to stay at home while her stepsisters go to the ball. A fairy godmother appears. She changes a pumpkin into a coach and Cinderella's rags into a beautiful gown, complete with a pair of glimmering glass slippers. Two-Eyes cries for food. A woman tells her to wish on her goat. When she does, a feast is served. Cinderella leaves one glass slipper at the ball by mistake. The prince tries to find the owner of the slipper. He finds Cinderella. When she fits in the slipper, he takes out the other one from where she had concealed it. The prince is overjoyed to find her. In Little Two-Eyes, she ends up with a silver tree. Only she can pick the valuable fruit. The prince marries Cinderella. She forgives her stepsisters. In another story, a prince marries Little Two-Eyes. She forgives her sisters too. People are still making up Cinderella stories today. Maybe you'll be the next person to write one. If you look on our Google Slides this week, I put a bookshelf in our slides. There are lots of Cinderella stories on the books of the bookshelf. If you click on any one of those books, it will take you to a website that will read the story to you. I hope you enjoyed the different versions of the Cinderella story and our anchor text this week, which is Yeh-Shen.